Okay, folks, first things first. Somewhere outside, someone is mowing their lawn. There is a shooting range over there. I'm pretty sure there's a building and construction site across the road. The chances that there won't be background noise in this video is 0. Now let's get into it. You're about to graduate, let's say, or about to be admitted as a lawyer. What are the things you should be focusing on so far as the formative years of your profession go? Now, I'm going to assume that you're not going into business on your own and that you're going to work for a law firm or something of that kind. What should you be doing? Because it's very tempting to tell yourself, I should just focus on the law. I need one thing, more law. And as tempting as that is, personally, I think it's completely wrong. And I think it's completely wrong for a few reasons. The main one is that's going to happen anyway. And while you're going to be a little confronted when you first get into your law firm with the sheer amount of knowledge that some people seem to have and the confidence with which they bring it to the table, I don't encourage you to take too many steps to deliberately learn more law in your area of specialization, because that is going to happen more by itself than these other things will. I'm not saying you should be lazy and just give up and go out and party every night. We're going to have some other areas to focus on, because being a lawyer isn't just about knowing the law, it's about the other things. And if you're here, there's a pretty good chance you already understand that. So if you are just becoming a new lawyer, there's a couple of areas that I think it would be really useful for you to focus on, rather than focusing on taking home the contract textbook and reading that all night, which admittedly is what I did, because I didn't really get it at the time. I didn't get it. Now I get it. At least I get it slightly more than I did before, which is okay. But let's have a look at those areas. The first one is this. I think you should be focusing on writing. Writing in particular, I could have said communication there, and if you've heard my spiel before, you know that communication is one of the big 4 areas I tell people to focus on. But writing is really, for the moment, the principal way in which you're going to communicate with people. And there is a huge amount of information out there on writing. But I don't want you to focus just on legal writing. I think you should cast the net a little bit wider, because drawing from those external sources about writing is going to really flesh out your ability to communicate well in different scenarios. You might, for example, look at copywriting, not the legal one, but the one that involves writing for advertisements or writing for sales copy and that sort of thing. Because if you're going to do any marketing, that really helps you refine your language. It really helps you make a good point. It really helps you target the things that your readers care about. It makes you very reader-centric. So if you're going to look up anything, look up copywriting. But what about just writing style? Not necessarily grammar, but what I want you to think about is what are some areas that you could avoid falling into the trap of legal pontification that happens so early on in your career, and opening up to a few more opportunities. Maybe you would read Stephen King's book on writing. It's actually called On Writing. Maybe you read that. Maybe you'd read Anne Hanley's book called Everybody Writes. These are books from a broader perspective. So if you're going to go outside copywriting, go to other writing skills as well. They are inexpensive, 20, 30 bucks. That's pretty good. There's a lot of knowledge in a book. Get some books, read them all, and put them into practice. Writing. Next one is networking. Now, I don't want to overstate what you're going to be able to accomplish with networking if you focus on that just after you graduate, because the truth is you're probably not going to achieve very much from this point of view of getting people to come in the door and hire you as their lawyer. That's not the point. The point of getting into networking early is to become comfortable with the process of relationship development. So when I say networking, I want you to think about it in terms of relationship. How can you find someone to meet them, develop that relationship and build it up, whereas if you called them on the phone, they would either pick up or return your call, rather than going, who's that? I don't know who that is, I'm not calling that person back, they're spamming me. If you can get to that point, that will be brilliant practice, because as you get more senior, you'll have more opportunities, and if you've been doing it from really early on, you'll have this body of network connections who can assist you with that process already. I did not do this, and it's one of the things that I really wish I had done better, is to expand my network earlier on and to get into some more areas that were going to have me with a broader network of connections who could send me more work. That's, at the end of the day, what's going to happen with people who like, know, and trust you. So, we've got writing, we've got networking. The last one I think you should focus on, and I think this is a good idea for anyone, is business. Now, you may or may not have done a business degree when you did your law degree, and you may or may not know how professional services work. But if this is a gap in your knowledge, if you don't understand the economics of running a law firm, if you don't understand how the various pieces come into play, if you can't read a balance sheet or a profit and loss statement, if you don't know how numbers work, if you don't know how WIP and debtors and all those financial terms that you may or may not yet be familiar with work, then this is an area that I think you should really be pressing the button on. And again, there is a vast amount of information out there. If you have no money at all, the internet, obviously. If you have a little bit of money, buy some books. Buy some books by people who have been successful. Buy some books by people who have been really into the business of law. There are a lot of professional services books out there specifically focused on the building the firm pages, and they will give you a good grounding in the business of law as well. Now, the umbrella over all of these, and I don't want to ignore it completely, so I'm just going to throw it in there, is your wellness. You need to make some decisions early on about what your career is going to look like and how it is going to be a long-term career and not a flame that goes out like that. I'm not going to go into wellness too much because this video is long enough already. Have a look at those three things. Consider how you're going to focus on your wellness. I'll do some more on that in our next video. And that's it for this one. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.